have some kind of authority here, which is not really the case at all. But thank you. Again, welcome to the Missouri Athletic Club. Tom introduced me earlier. My name is Brent Boimer. I have the pleasure and privilege of serving as the president of our club this year. Athletic is quite literally our club's middle name and a key ingredient why we have been regarded as a St. Louis institution for more than a century. Tonight, we are excited to once again get the opportunity to honor the accomplishments of another group of outstanding young athletes. So congratulations to all the finalists, their families, coaches, and teammates. And thank you all for attending and supporting the most popular sport in the world. Now I would like to thank and introduce at the same time the Missouri Athletic Club soccer co-chairs, Greg and Annie Beekman. Thank you for your tireless efforts in helping to make this one of our signature events. Greg?
All right, thanks, Brent. Tonight we honor and celebrate the individual athletic excellence of this year's MAC Hermann Trophy finalists. Congratulations to the 6 outstanding young men and women, their parents, families, and coaches. As you've experienced tonight, no one in town is better at putting on a memorable event than the Missouri Athletic Club. Special thanks to General Manager Wally Smith and the club's outstanding staff of chefs and servers. So please join me in a round of applause for the MAC staff. I'd like to take just a minute to highlight a member of our MAC team who was instrumental in pulling this event together. Our Director of Communications and my friend since kindergarten, Jim Wilson, took over managing this event 20 years ago. At the time, the event was anticlimactic. The 2 winners were announced ahead of time, then brought to town for dinner. Jim was the driving force behind expanding the format by adding the finalists and the press conference announcement of the winners. In doing so, it has gotten more schools involved and drawn more attention to the awards and these outstanding athletes. He probably created a lot of extra work for himself in the process, but thank you, Jim, for helping to grow this into a bigger and better event for college soccer. We're excited to welcome a new presenting sponsor this year, Mungenast St. Louis Acura and Mungenast and Burkhart Alton Toyota. We appreciate everything they do for the Missouri Athletic Club and the St. Louis community, including their support of this event. Thank you to the Mungenast family. And as mentioned during the press conference, we're honored that the winner of the 1991 Hermann Trophy is here with us tonight. We will hear from him later in the program, but please, a nice round of applause for our featured speaker, Alexi Lawless. There's a lot of excitement here in St. Louis as next month, St. Louis City SC will make its long-awaited debut in Major League Soccer. Their Chief Revenue Officer, Dennis Moore, is one of our MAC members, and he is here tonight with head coach Bradley Carnell and sporting director Luke Pfannenstiel. Welcome, St. Louis City. Coach Carnell will be featured in another great MAC soccer event on February 17th. It's called the Celebration of St. Louis Soccer, and Taylor Twellman will be the MC. There are details about this event in the program, and I would encourage our MAC members to attend. At this point, we want to recognize the continuing support of the family of the man for whom this award is named. Robert R. Hermann was a pioneer in U.S. soccer and was integral to bringing professional soccer to the United States in the late 60s. Elected to the National Soccer Hall of Fame in 2001, Mr. Hermann was dedicated to promoting soccer in this country at all levels, including starting this award 55 years ago in 1967. We are honored to have members of the Hermann family and the Hermann Foundation in attendance here tonight. At this time, please welcome Mr. Hermann's grandson, Rick Holton, and his daughter, Lotsie, to the stage.
So I'm Rick, and it's a pleasure to be here. And my grandfather, Bob Hermann, was all about family. When I hear all the speeches and everyone talks about their families and the coaches and everything, that's what soccer's all about. So I'm sitting at the table, and Lotsie said, "Can I read the speech?" And I said, "Of course you can." So I'm going to give the floor to Lotsie.
Okay. Great to be here celebrating 56 years of excellence in collegiate soccer by awarding this year's Hermann Trophy. I'd like to start by thanking the MAC for being such a great partner in hosting this wonderful event, honoring the 6 of the most extraordinary scholar athletes in the country. I also want to thank their families, coaches, and teammates for helping them get here tonight, because we all know the game is a team sport. And I am confident that you all had to make quite a few stops at soccer practices on the road to tonight's banquet. The fact that each and every one of you has been selected as a finalist for this year's Hermann Trophy represents a huge achievement for you and your families. Congratulations. In 1966, my great-grandfather, Bob Hermann, helped bring professional soccer to the U.S. as a founder of the NPSL, where he served as president and chairman. He was also the founder and co-owner of the St. Louis Stars soccer team. His greatest soccer legacy, however, is the Hermann Trophy, established in his honor by the NPSL, which has become the oldest and most prestigious award in the country that is given both a male and female athlete. Many recipients of the Hermann Trophy have gone on to play in professional leagues on a global stage, and now, thanks to the Taylor family, some of tonight's finalists may have the opportunity to play professionally right here in St. Louis City. Thank you.
Good job.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lotsie. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Hermann family. As a final bit of business, we want to thank a longtime partner, United Soccer Coaches. They administer the vote of college coaches that determines the Hermann Trophy winners. Their president, Ashley Fontes-Comber, is joining us this evening, along with Director of Strategic Growth, Brandon Milburn, and Awards Manager, Steve Veal. United Soccer Coaches has provided the soccer balls that are at each table. Those soccer balls are signed by tonight's finalists. Each year, we give them away as attendance prizes. So please turn to the inside front cover of your program. If you have a round green sticker on that page, you are the winner of the soccer ball. There you go. All right. All right. Enjoy the souvenirs, and we're going to get on with the show. For those of you who have been to this event before, we'll give it one more minute. So for those of you who have been to this event before, you've probably noticed the absence of our longtime MC, Bill McDermott. Bill is recovering from back surgery and is unable to join us tonight, but he assures us he'll be ready to go before the start of the MLS season. We wish Bill a speedy recovery and look forward to him returning next year. Fortunately, we have one of the top broadcasters in the business in our MAC membership ranks who is ready to fill in. His dedication to this city and our club in particular are second to none, and we are beyond blessed to have someone with his talent here to conduct our program. He is the longtime sports director at KMOX Radio. Please welcome Tom Ackerman.
Thank you very much. It was very kind. It is absolutely my honor to host events at the Missouri Athletic Club. It is one of my favorite things to do. And I thought I was secure until Lotzi started going after my job. Great job. Really, how about, let's hear it for Lotzi. Great job. This is exciting. It is the Hermann Trophy Banquet. It is right now, in this very moment, the eyes of the soccer world. We are St. Louis, and we're very excited about where we are in the soccer community right now. It is electric, isn't it? What's happening in this city right now? So thank you to all who make it possible. St. Louis City SC, absolutely. But you know who made it possible? You. Quite honestly, you are the ones who did it. You're the ones who got that done. You're the ones who keep this banquet going. You're the ones who make certain that America looks at St. Louis as the home of the Hermann Trophy Banquet, the home of the most spectacular MLS stadium out there, the home of two guys playing on the same team for the United States men's national team, went to the same high school. I mean, this is St. Louis. Give yourselves an incredible round of applause because you deserve it. Now, I'd like to recognize some people in attendance who traveled a long way to be here. From Huntington Beach, California, the mother of finalist Jenna Neiswanger. Please welcome Leanna Neiswanger. From Chester, New Jersey, the parents of finalist Peter Stroud. Welcome Karen and Stephen Stroud. And Peter's brother will be suiting up for St. Louis City SC in their inaugural season, Jared Stroud. From Grays Lake, Illinois, the grandmother of finalist Corbin Albert. Please welcome Alberta Wodek. From Clarkson, Michigan, the sister and mother of Hermann Trophy winner Michelle Cooper, Lexi and Michelle Cooper. And from Omaha, Nebraska, the parents of Hermann Trophy winner Duncan McGuire. Please welcome Tara and Brian McGuire. We have soccer royalty in the house, two-time Hermann Trophy winner, two-time, 1969, 1970, a member of the 1972 Olympic team, National Soccer Hall of Famer Al Trost. Standout from St. Louis University, the 1970 Rookie of the Year in the North American Soccer League, currently president of the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame. Please welcome Jim Leaker. And speaking of SLU, their men's and women's head coaches are in attendance. He led the men's team to a second consecutive A10 tournament title, bid in the NCAA tournament, Kevin Kalish. She led the women's program to a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, ending the regular season with a nation-leading 20 wins, Katie Shields. Ladies and gentlemen, our community is fortunate to have many outstanding organizations dedicated to promoting and serving soccer and who are in attendance today. The Ajax Soccer Club, Missouri Youth Soccer Association, St. Louis Youth Soccer Association, and a special shout out to the Special Needs Soccer Association, SPENSA. SPENSA gives children with disabilities the opportunity to play soccer and is a vital part of our soccer community. They even attract the attention of some of the biggest stars in soccer. You may well know one of them. That would be Alexi Lalas. He was hanging out with SPENSA recently during a friendly at Busch Stadium. If the players and volunteers of Spencer would please stand to be recognized. Now for the presentation of the women's finalists for the 2022 Missouri Athletic Club Hermann Trophy. I'd like to welcome to the podium at this time United Soccer Coaches President Ashley Fontes Comber.
All right, thank you, Tom, and thank you to everyone at the Missouri Athletic Club for hosting such a fantastic event. I don't really think it's fair to have to follow such a class act and professional speaker, but bear with me. On behalf of United Soccer Coaches and our board of directors, congratulations to this year's Hermann Trophy finalists on an outstanding 2022 season. I'm honored to have the pleasure of introducing two of the top student athletes in NCAA Division I women's soccer this year, the University of Notre Dame's Corbin Albert and Florida State University's Jenna Noswinger. Sophomore midfielder Corbin Albert from Grays Lake, Illinois, played in all 22 games this season, while earning ACC Midfielder of the Year honors for Notre Dame. In her 1,761 minutes of play, she scored a career-high 16 goals for the Fighting Irish, including 6 game-winning goals, tying her for 5th in the country in that category. Albert was sensational down the stretch, scoring 14 goals over the last 12 games for her team on the way to United Soccer Coaches' first team All-America honors. Please turn your attention to the video screens to see highlights of Corbin in action this year.
Corbin Albert for the tie. She gets it. New game for Notre Dame. In the 13th minute, now Albert and Notre Dame looking for a response. Oh my! That'll do. Irish on the attack again. They've got another. Before Florida State can even blink.
Here comes the shot. And it is in the back of the net in Notre Dame. Leads 1-0. Corbin Albert. Oh, hit him.
Albert turning on him. And in. Falling to the ground. Corbin Albert.
Statement game. We're seeing it regardless of what the output is. Albert. A little slip from Jones. And Corbin Albert says we're tied again.
It's now a race with Wingate. Wingate centering. Albert is there. Puts on the stop. Breaks. Turning. Shot. Goal. Albert. There. And makes no.
Hi, my name is Corbin Albert, and I'm a midfielder from the University of Notre Dame. I want to give a special thanks to the Missouri Athletic Club for hosting this event and everyone that has voted for me. I'm so grateful for being recognized as one of the top athletes in the U.S., and I'm so grateful for all the support I had from my coaches, my family, my friends, my mom, and everyone else back at home that has supported me throughout my season, my career. And I just want to say I'm so sorry I cannot be there as I'm currently in London doing the Lord's work. I am on a missionaries trip playing soccer and spreading the gospel to others. Thank you so much, and I appreciate all the support and being recognized as a top athlete.
Please welcome to the stage Notre Dame head coach Nate Norman.
Coach, grab one of those mics. Let's chat for a minute. Where the heck is Corbin? No, I'm just kidding. We know where she is. Tell us a little bit more about what she's doing.
Yeah, so Corbin, I mean, obviously you can see how amazing of a player she is, but it doesn't come close to the person that she is, genuinely. Like, so she, you know, she has a heart for others. She wants to serve others. She wants to, you know, make a difference and impact in other people's lives. Whenever I ask her things like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? It's like, I want to use soccer as a vehicle to make a positive impact on other people's lives. And right now she's in London with a group that's playing some games, but also doing some missionary work, and that's, you know, a passion of hers and something she had planned for a long time. I know she'd have loved to have been here, but it's something that you know, she felt like she was being called to do at this time, which you know, we're really proud of her for that.
The ACC is such a great conference. How did she become? I mean, midfielder of the year is quite the honor. Can you discuss that ascent and how she got to that level?
Yeah, I mean, Corbin, I mean, I've never coached a player like Corbin before. She's one of those players that you actually don't really coach her that much. You just kind of try to give her a few ideas, you know, maybe some, you know, just thoughts of like, hey, this is the position you should play and this is the area of the field you should be. But other than that, you just let her go. She is one of those players that has this gift, this feel for the game that I've never seen before. Her ability to run at people 1v1, the midfield, to spin out of pressure, to see passes that other players can't see. She loves to just get around the edge of the box and shift the ball from side to side, and she's a great finisher with both feet. I mean, she does some amazing work, but I think the really awesome thing about her that we love is, like, she's a talented player, but she also really values, I think, some of the grittier stuff in the game. I mean, she's an amazing counter presser. She's an amazing defender. She loves just winning balls back and great in transition moments. And I think all of that, you know, because she values just such a wide variety of things in the game, but also has these special gifts from God that she has on the ball that, you know, have made her, you know, one of the top players, which she is so fun to coach and so fun to watch.
How did Notre Dame win the recruiting battle?
It's a good question. However it happened, I'm really thankful. I mean, I think, you know, at the end of the day, like, Corbin, you know, it's just, you know, I think with any recruit, you try to connect with them, you try to create a relationship with them, you try to, you know, talk to them about how you feel like they fit into your program. And I just think she, you know, saw Notre Dame holistically, you know, the school we are, the values we stand for, you know, and hopefully that's what she saw in the soccer program as well. And, you know, we were fortunate enough that, you know, she chose to come play for us.
You know, we can sit up there and talk numbers all day long, stats, and we throw out all these numbers, but you just alluded to it in the beginning. There are some things that just can't be measured. Yeah. And one of those is the fact that you only have to say it once. I mean, how special is that to be able to have somebody out there like that?
Yep. No, exactly. And she's the player, too, that, like, you know, the practice ends, and she'll be out there training, you know, doing stuff, you know, working on some aspect of her game. And I have to actually, like, stand out there for 15, 20 minutes to just make sure she doesn't overdo it, to be honest with you. And then when the 15, 20 minutes is up, I start walking out there and I just start putting all the balls in the bag, because there's nothing I could tell her that's going to stop her from continuing to go. And it's just you know, she's a player that inspires others on her team to kind of go a little bit further and to push themselves a little bit further and to believe that, you know, maybe they can be even greater than they think they can be. And I think she's just made such an impact, not only, like, on the field in our program, but really just overall in you know, different players' lives in our program. And it's really been just such a blessing to be able to coach her.
Finally, what is next for her?
Well, I mean, we're fortunate enough that she is going to come back and play for another year, so we get to have the you know, the honor of coaching her. And she's a sophomore right now, so to come back for her junior year and continue to watch her kind of grow and flourish and you know, impact others in our program. One story I'll tell you, and you haven't asked, but I haven't actually told anyone this story, but I was just thinking about this, you know, even when we were driving up here. You know, Corbin's the kid. I can't remember what team we were playing against, but we were somewhere on a road trip in a hotel, and there was a Starbucks across the street, and me and a couple of their coaches walked out of the Starbucks to just, you know, grab something, and we looked across the street and we saw Corbin, and there was no one around, so no one around, like, to see or anything like that. And there was someone who was, probably less fortunate, sitting outside the Starbucks, and we watched her as she invited this person in. She asked that person, what they wanted to eat or drink, bought that person a meal and spent time with that person, and then walked away. And it wasn't, to put on a show or anything like that. It was just simply like she has the heart for others, and she's always looking to say, how can I make an impact on other people? And that's, I think, really the greatness of her is like she just loves people and wants to, use the gifts that she has to help those around her.
I'm so glad you told that story. We get to see the players and we get to see the game, and then we go on and do other things. You get to see everything else, and to be able to share that tells us another great story about her, and thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Nate Norman, head coach at Notre Dame.
Thank you.
Let's send it back to Ashley for our next finalist.
Jenna Neiswanger picked up multiple honors this season, including All-ACC First Team, the ACC Conference Tournament Most Valuable Player, and United Soccer Coach's First Team All-American. From Huntington Beach, California, she was also named 2022 United Soccer Coach's Scholar Player of the Year with her 3.82 GPA in finance. She started all 22 games this season for the Seminoles, contributing 6 goals and 16 assists. The senior midfielder ranked 3rd in assists per game and 2nd in total assists among all NCAA Division I women's soccer programs. Please turn your attention to the video screens to see highlights of Jenna's 2022 season. Please welcome Florida State coach Brian Penske and Jenna Neiswanger.
Each of you just grab a mic right there, nicely placed on that stand between the chairs. And Coach, let's embarrass her for a little bit first. So she's known as Queen of the Corner Kick. How do you get such a lofty title, Coach?
You score 2 or 3 goals directly from a corner kick. It's pretty simple.
Being a successful coach, all great coaches say, I have great players. How did she help get this program to where it was in the postseason?
That's a great question. You know, it started, I just got to Florida State 8 months ago, and it started my second day on the job in my first individual meeting with her, and she talked about how great she wanted to be and how impactful she wanted to be and how she wanted to lead this team. And then 1 week later, she made a call to me talking about the need for, and this is all leadership stuff, this is off the field stuff, the need for more services for student athletes in the area of mental health. She had a relationship with Katie Meyer, who unfortunately took her own life at Stanford several years ago, and that was important to Jenna. And so what that showed me in week 1 is that we've got someone really good in charge of our team. Players lead teams, players win games, and for us, she did both.
Could you speak on that, Jenna, the importance of mental health and that conversation?
Yeah, I just think that right now the U.S. is in this like mental health crisis, and we can't seem to find enough therapists and psychologists. So I think, especially at Florida State, we only had one, and it was not to speak down, or we've made improvements, but one isn't enough for a whole, however many, 400, 500 athletes. So for us to add on another psychologist and hopefully get more therapists on board is really important to me, and I think Brian's played such an important part of getting that extra psychologist there and just have more people, so there's always someone to talk to you and you don't have to like fight to get an appointment.
This is a relationship business, really. I mean, you're playing college soccer, but to be successful, it's about human relationships. And just off of that discussion, what was that like having a new coach and making sure that you connected right away? How did you do that?
I think credit to Brian, the first day that we met him, some of us didn't know who he was, some of us had heard of him, but we were all a little nervous. I think you could feel the tension in the room. You could cut it with a knife, but he came in and was just really friendly, and for me, trust is obviously very important in a coach, and his trust grew instantly. I think he was so open to hearing about our concerns and like what we liked about the program and what we wanted to change, and he was kind of like, why fix? You don't fix what's not broken. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but he like didn't try to come in and like make it his way or the highway. So it was just nice to have a coach that knew he had a good program and was willing to listen to his players, because you don't always get that.
Jenna is also Scholar Player of the Year, by the way. The importance, and it is a challenge, isn't it? Athletics and academics. It's important, but it's also, if people only knew what Division I student athletes have to manage to get it done, just the importance of that, if you would.
Yeah, I think you learn a lot about time management, which is helpful throughout the rest of your life. But I mean, I think the past 3 years we've had Elite 90 winners, maybe the past 4 years. Like my teammate Beata Olsen this season had an incredible GPA, and she got Elite 90. So I think at Florida State, it's just obviously important to us, the academic side as well, and they do a really good job at helping us.
And just a soccer question, how do you become such a great assist maker? I mean, what is it to get other people involved? How do you grow that for the young players that are here today?
I think it's just really important to watch soccer and study the players that you really like to watch. Growing up, I watched like a lot of soccer, so you kind of get that like soccer brain, I guess. But yeah, I like helping, like giving people the goals, and if I can do that, I really like that. It's fun. So yeah, just don't be selfish and pass the ball.
Yeah, I'll add to that. She used the word soccer brain, and I've never coached a player that has a brain like hers. She sees things happening well before they happen, and her ability to put herself in good spots, so now she can deliver that final pass, or obviously if it's not putting herself in a good spot, obviously like we talk about her set pieces and her corner kicks, very, 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 very accurate, and give our kids a chance every single time. But her ability to put herself in the right spots, she's obviously left-footed, and she talks a lot about her left foot, but I think her right foot is equally deadly.
Congratulations to both of you on a tremendous first year for you as coach and a wonderful ride at Florida State. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to add that I love the fact that misery loves company, and so whoever put that video together, at least I had Robbie together watching Corbin score so many goals against both Duke and Florida State.
Let's hear it for Brian Penske and Jenna Neiswanger.
Now let's turn our attention to two of the NCAA Men's Division I standouts in 2022. Syracuse University's Levante Johnson and Duke University's Peter Stroud. Levante Johnson earned all ACC first team honors and United Soccer Coach's first team All-America recognition, helping the Orange to its first ever NCAA Division I Men's National Championship. The Brampton, Ontario senior forward scored 11 goals this season in 25 starts and added 6 assists. His goal in the 86th minute of the national semifinal sent Syracuse to the College Cup final. Please turn your attention to the video screen to see highlights of Levante.
Early distribution. It's a foot race now. It's a chance here. It's Levante Johnson. He's got return. Johnson trying to get into the box and scores. Unbelievable. Has put Syracuse up 1-0.
Here comes Jonah Leibold, full-headed seam pass, Rosner. Leibold in, it gets past Doe. Johnson a chance, he scores!
He's got some room. Still Johnson skips past the defender, 1v1. It's in the back of the net, and the Orange are up 2-1. What a finish from Levante Johnson.
And now up ahead for Levante Johnson. Bearing down, Johnson puts it in. And the Orange go up 2 on the road in Louisville.
Opportunity for the Orange. You can't give Levante Johnson a free look at goal.
Syracuse just a minute in to overtime.
At this point, Johnson ahead, chips it on net, and there's the opening goal for Syracuse.
Levante Johnson finds the back of the net.
Welcome Syracuse coach Ian McIntyre and Levante Johnson.
Grab a microphone there, and Levante, I mean, against my beloved alma mater, Indiana University. How could you? Crushed my, no, congratulations. I mean, what an unbelievable game, what an unbelievable finish. Just tell me about that celebration, that moment.
Honestly, it was surreal. It was a surreal moment, winning the first national championship for the Syracuse University. It meant a lot for not only us and our supporters, but the community back home as well. We came back, I think, at 2:30 in the morning on our bus, and we were greeted with a bunch of fans, like lights. Like it was crazy to see that when we got back.
It had to be a heck of a bus ride. And what a relief and what a thrill and all of those emotions, because Coach, how do you, in such a pressure-packed situation, keep your team steady?
In a penalty shootout, don't say too much. Stay out the way. English voice, we never win shootouts. So it's just the nature. So I actually put on an accent. I pretended I was German. Wie komme ich am besten zum Bahnhof, bitte? Which, if anyone knows German, I think I just asked directions to the train station. So, we trust the team. We had a couple of penalty shootouts against UVA in the ACC semi-final, and then it was the whole College Cup was just 4 wonderful teams getting after it, and penalty shootout, can go either way, but fortunately. We found a way and showed a lot of toughness. I think we had 3 penalties to stay alive. One of those from one of the Germans. He did have to retake it because his hearing was so bad. He took it before the whistle blew. So that, roller coaster of emotions there. But then Anthony Sinclair, our captain, it was written for him to take the penalty. Was nowhere near our list for both shootouts. He was like number 27 in our roster. Number 26 was this guy next to me. So, and if you didn't watch the game, and hopefully there's not too many Indiana fans in here at the moment, but when Levante took his penalty, and this was, he has to score it to keep us alive, it hits the crossbar, drops down, and Indiana's bench ran on the field. They thought they'd won a national title. Thankfully, it went the other side of the line, and so he's still allowed to come back to Syracuse.
It was written for him because, what a year. I mean, think about the transition. Junior college, Seattle University, Syracuse. How did he blend in and do his thing right away?
Yeah, he's a wonderful soccer player, but he's even better individual. And what I mean by that is he fit in great. It's good and it's easy to cheer and support this young man because he's humble, he's selfless. You've seen him on the field. Apart from how slow he walked up here to the stadium, you see him on the pitch. He's quick, he's dynamic, he's just a wonderful teammate, and you can tell we're going to miss him. We're trying to kick him out the door. He's just, it's easy to cheer for Levante Johnson.
What was that journey like for you? The one I just described, junior college, Seattle, and over to Syracuse.
It was really nice, actually. I got to meet a lot of wonderful people along the way. I've been all over the country, from Florida to Utah to Seattle, and now Syracuse, which is pretty much back to my hometown, almost like 3 hours away from Brampton. But it was a really good ride. It's sad to end it, but it's a nice way to end it like this, being named a finalist and winning a national championship, so there's nothing to complain about.
And not just that, but selected in the MLS Super Draft by the Vancouver Whitecaps. How about that? So what's that like, getting drafted?
It was nice. I had a little draft party with my mom, my family, and a couple of my friends, and just hearing your name getting called up was a big sigh of relief and joy and excitement, and it starts a new journey to somewhere else across the country. I'm going 5-hour plane ride away from home to Vancouver.
What was it like for you to watch him get drafted?
I wasn't invited to the draft party.
What happened?
What happened?
You weren't in Canada.
It's only 3 hours away from campus.
What's next for Syracuse? Lots of talent to replace, and certainly, but also
we're screwed.
To know that you had this great talent that your players and those that are coming to Syracuse can watch for years and years.
Just a wonderful, he's one of the cultural architects on our team. He leads by example. He's a quiet guy in the locker room, but as I said, he's humble, he's hardworking, and we're going to sorely miss him.
Coach McIntyre, thank you. Levante, thank you. The national champion, Syracuse Orange.
Peter Stroud, you guys ready? Peter Stroud, a junior from Chester, New Jersey, recorded 2 goals and 5 assists from his midfield position, setting a personal career high in assists for the Blue Devils of Duke University. He collected a variety of accolades this season, including All-ACC First Team and United Soccer Coaches All-America First Team. He became the first player in ACC history to win back-to-back Midfielder of the Year honors. Please turn your attention to the video screen to see highlights of Peter in action this season.
Proud to make it 2-0 and hammers it home. Duke on top of Michigan by 2. Stroud, good works it, yes! And Duke has tied it. Until Duke works and stays with it. Cruz makes a couple saves, but Duke certainly had many chances as they do here through the box and a 2-0 lead for the Blue Devils. Got it back, and now here's Stroud. Stroud is on it. Squida stepped up for a second. Shot coming out! It's in! Duke leads it 2-0.
Please welcome Duke head coach John Kerr and Peter Stroud.
Coach, this is quite the reunion for you. 1986, you were Player of the Year and won the award at this banquet. What is it like to be back?
It's a thrill. It's great to see so many good friends that I remember attended this event 36 years ago. It's a thrill, and I was back here in 2011 when Andrew Wenger won the award, so I hope I keep coming back every couple of years. I'd love to keep having this wonderful relationship with the St. Louis crowd. I remember how my father, who played in the old NASL, played against the St. Louis Stars in the final 1972. I was at the game, I was 7. And a goalkeeper called Kenny Cooper was in goal for the Stars, and my dad scored a wonderful goal in that final. But he always had a good place for soccer in the city, and I'm so happy you guys are starting to have a league in the MLS. Congratulations.
Has the college game changed, and how?
It's changed dramatically. I mean, there was always some really good players back in my day, some special players, but these days, everyone's good. Every single player that's on the college team is very accomplished. And the training, you know, the exposure to the game, and seeing it on TV from every country in the world, it's when we were growing up, I think we saw 1 hour of soccer made in Germany. For you old guys, remember on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, we'd see 1 hour a week, and now you can see the game 24/7, and it's really made a massive impact on our country, and wonderful to see the World Cup last month, and the game's growing, and it's just going to keep going in this country.
Peter, what have you learned from him, knowing his history and background?
Yeah, I mean, I came to Duke, and I knew a lot about him. I heard he was the Mac Hermann winner. Had a great career in Portsmouth. I was a Portsmouth fan when I was younger, so it's just been great, to be honest, to learn from him. He's been a great mentor for me. All of them have. Always just opened the door, trusted me right from my freshman year. So how could I not go out there and do my best for them when they gave me everything? So
For a team to have a clean sheet through the regular season is pretty amazing. How do you maintain that level of consistency, do you think?
yeah, I mean, it's kind of something we pride ourselves on. Keeping clean sheets and not giving up goals. And this year, it all fell into place. Had a couple of years. My freshman year, we slowly got better over the years, and this year it just felt right, and we had a great cohesion back there, and then everyone just working for each other. So,
how about what we mentioned earlier, having a family member playing for St. Louis City SC? Pretty exciting?
Yeah. I'm super excited for him. he took me to took a tour of the stadium, and it's absolutely awesome. I'm super excited for everyone in St. Louis. I'm super excited for him. I know they're going to win some games for you guys, so I look forward to watching it.
We look forward to seeing you. What makes a great midfielder? You've won so many awards as a midfielder.
I think for me, it's just been consistency and kind of doing the basics every day. Playing both sides of the ball is something I like to do. I like to defend and I like to attack. So just for me, it was just about doing the basics the best I can do every single day. And I think it's worked out pretty well for me. So,
is that the key? Is the getting down to the basics? You know, we see highlight reels, we see all of these great things, but it's doing those things that you have to do each and every day, isn't it, Coach?
Well, you can't get him off the field at the end of practice. He loves to train, and he trains at a high level every single day. And doesn't get enough credit for his soccer brain. We talked about that earlier tonight, but his soccer brain is just up there with his athleticism. His athleticism is off the charts. But when you see him play, see him think, and we get to see it every day, it's amazing what he can do and how he sees the game, and he's going to have a very wonderful professional career.
Congratulations and best of luck. What's next for him?
I'll let him answer that question. It's a lot. Hopefully he can make an impact wherever he decides to sign here in the next few weeks. And I think that he's going to hopefully knock on the door to get in the national team and make some headlines in the next World Cup.
What do you think?
I look forward to everything that's coming up. I'm ready to go.
There we go. Coach Kerr, Peter Stroud, thank you. Congratulations to all of our finalists. Let's give them another round of applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely my honor to recognize each year at the Hermann Trophy Banquet what we do. We're joined by several high school state championship teams. The St. Dominic girls, 23-3 on the season, captured the Class 4 state championship. Crusaders ranked number 4 in the United Soccer Coaches National Poll. St. Dominic, led by All-American Grace Beinbudel, All-Central goalkeeper Katie Fitzler. Others earning all-state honors, Julia Schouts, Jessica Larson, Macy Begley, and this was Coach Greg Keller's 6th girls state championship and 11th overall. Congratulations to the state champions from St. Dominic. In Class 3, the Webster Groves boys went 21-3 on the season, a 16-game unbeaten streak that broke the school record. The 3rd state title for the Statesmen, the 5th Final Four in the last 8 years. The championship game ended in a shootout. Jamison Peplow scored the 4th and winning goal, and the Statesmen finished the season with 5 All-State players, 2 All-Midwest Region, 1 All-American, led by Player of the Year Oliver Doyle, Goalkeeper of the Year Luca Zarki, Coach of the Year Tim Velton, Branyan Hurd, and Jonas Osterly also earned first team All-State honors, the state champions from Webster Groves. The Fort Zumwalt South girls captured the Class 3 state championship, their 2nd consecutive title. They went 26-1 on the season. They had 3 first-team All-State players, Audrey Smith, Sarah Bozeman, and Brooke Couture. And Audrey Smith scored 35 goals overall this season, the most in the program's history. The Bulldogs were led by Goalkeeper of the Year, Sarah Bozeman, Coach of the Year, Leanne Sanders. Congratulations to the Bulldogs from Fort Zumwalt South. In Class 1, the Francis Borgia boys went 15-9 on the season and won the Class 1 state championship, the first in school history. In the championship game, Adam Rickman scored the game-winning goal with just over a minute left in regulation. The team had 3 first-team All-State players, Justin Mort, Goalkeeper of the Year, Drew Fisher, Co-Player of the Year, and Zach Mort. And the team was led by Coach of the Year,
Daniel Strohmeyer. Congratulations to the Francis Borgia state champions. And the Whitfield girls went 13-6 on the season. They won the Class 1 state championship, first in school history. The team had 3 first-team All-State players, Taylor Gardner, Goalkeeper of the Year, Perry Rogan, and Mia Devereaux, Player of the Year. Devereaux scored 38 goals, had 12 assists during the season. The team was led by Coach of the Year, Jeff Cacciatore, state champions from Whitfield. Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the presentation of the 2022 Women's MAC Hermann Trophy, welcome MAC Soccer Co-Chair Annie Beekman.
Congratulations to all the finalists. To be recognized as one of the 3 best from among the thousands of collegiate soccer players in the United States is a remarkable accomplishment. The success of any athlete is certainly not done without the support and guidance of dedicated parents and coaches. So congratulations to you as well, and we are glad that you were able to join us in this special night. Michelle Cooper is the first player in Duke history to win the Women's Hermann Trophy. In 2022, she delivered a school record of 49 points on 19 goals and 11 assists. The native of Clarkston, Michigan, was United Soccer Coaches' first team All-American and the ACC Offensive Player of the Year. She was the only player in the country to rank in the top 10 in goals, points, and assists. Let's take a look at some highlights from this past season.
One of the goal scorers goes to work against Nina Zimmer, sends the cross, and it's not in. Michelle Cooper again.
And the sensational sophomore strikes again for the Blue Devils.
Was calm, cool, and collected.
Service in, and a header into the back of the net. A brace for Michelle Cooper.
Please welcome Duke University head coach Robbie Church and the 2022 winner of the Hermann Trophy, Michelle Cooper.
Yeah, no one wants to be the first one to drop that. That's the thing. Yeah, no.
I was going to catch it.
But, you know, the people who have won it, I mean, Mia Hamm, Kristen Press, Kelly O'Hara, I mean, on and on. Like, what is that like to know that that has happened?
It's surreal. I've talked about it all night long. I've said to my family, the people who have won this before me, it's just crazy to think that I have had the opportunity to win the same award.
When I said it earlier, 49 points, I read it twice to make sure it was correct. It is remarkable. It's a school record. How do you become, what do you have to possess to be a great scorer?
Well, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my teammates around me. I mean, those opportunities wouldn't have come without them supporting me every day in practice and feeding me the ball and cheering me on and making sure that when I do miss opportunities, they're able to lift me up and say, there's another one, there's another one. So it takes a lot, but definitely my teammates are a big part of that.
And she's a great teammate for saying it. And what did you see in recruiting? What made her stand out?
You saw a lot in the video. You saw her passion. You saw after she scores goals. You see how she celebrates, and that's how she is all the time, all in training, in games and stuff. And you just saw that determination to be great. She wants not to be good. She wants to be great. And she's going to work at her craft. She works at her craft. Like all the coaches that talk about the players that here, they're all the first one to come to practice. They're the last one to leave. So the young players, as you hear that over and over. And that's the same thing Michelle has always done at Duke for the last 2 years. Is she's always come and she's been an unbelievable teammate. She supports, she sets the standards of our training every day. She is there. She's communicating to her teammates. She's pushing everybody. She's making everybody better. She's making players. She's making coaches better.
What is today like for a coach to see her win that award?
Oh, it's this is why we coach, to see that, to see the smiles on her face, to see the smiles on her sister's face, on Mom's face, the tears of joy. This is why we all coach, and a lot of us in this room is to see that just to come to fruition. Her hard work, we've seen her hard work. She's been committed to Duke for a number of years. We got on the early track over there with her before we changed recruiting. But, I've been doing this a long time, and this is worth every bit. This is our first time here, and what an unbelievable event. But, again, obviously in the women's side, the three are from the ACC. And, they're unbelievable, Jan and Corbin and Michelle. It's just a league that we live in. But for her to be the top of women's college soccer is unbelievable, but really well-deserved.
You just announced that you were going to turn pro.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Wait, first, what is that like? I mean, you just gave us the reaction. But.
No, obviously we'd love her to stay at Duke and be part of the program and do that, but she's done so much for our program, and we support her so much. All of us, all our coaching staff, all our athletic department, but it's great for our game. Look at this. She has this opportunity to turn pro. She's been at Duke for 2 years and our game has grown so much that these young players, when they excel, there's another avenue, and there's a big avenue out there for her. So we're excited about her. We look forward to seeing her and following her and be, her biggest fans out there, but we appreciate everything that she has done for us, everything she's done for Duke University.
It's a huge decision and moment, isn't it?
It is. It was not an easy one, but it was made with the coaches and my teammates and my family, and everyone's been nothing but supportive of me, and that's made it just a lot easier.
Now, you played for the USA U20 team. What is the difference between college soccer and international soccer?
I would say, the difference is not much. I mean, the intensity is always there regardless. You're always fighting for those 90 minutes to come out with a win, but there's a lot of pressure always on the college side of it and on the national team, especially when you're on the world stage. But knowing that people are cheering you on and always supporting you, no matter what jersey you put on, makes it a lot easier.
Because it's still the game.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same game. So I'm going to ask you something that I asked Jenna earlier, just about the young players out here. What would you tell them? What's the advice you would give them as they continue to grow?
Something that I always stick by is hard work goes a long way, and you can take that anywhere in life, in the classroom, on the field, both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. It'll take you a far way, and no matter what you do.
Congratulations on this. The Hermann Trophy.
Thank you so
goes
much.
to Michelle Cooper.
Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the presentation of the 2022 Men's MAC Hermann Trophy. Please welcome to the podium MAC Soccer Co-Chair Greg Beekman.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Duncan McGuire led the NCAA in goals and points and set the Creighton single-season record with 23 goals and closed the season with 50 points. In the season opener, he had a hat trick and an assist. and he continued to produce throughout the season. The native of Omaha, Nebraska reached a new level in the postseason, scoring 10 goals and dishing out 2 assists to help the Blue Jays advance to the program's 6th College Cup with a 7-match winning streak. Let's take a look at some highlights from this past season. Please welcome the 1997 Hermann Trophy winner, Creighton coach Johnny Torres, and the 2022 winner of the Hermann Trophy, Duncan McGuire.
Here is the 1997 Hermann Trophy winner, Johnny Torres. What do you remember from that day?
I remember Lexi Lawless had a lot more hair. No, it was an exciting time. It was stressful because they actually made us prepare a speech. So this isn't fair that he doesn't have to do a speech. No, a lot of fun. It was a great honor, and it's great to be able to come back, some years later and see some of the same faces and the people that have supported the sport throughout the years. And so it's a great honor to be back and to be here to be able to take part of this great event is pretty cool.
You've won a Hermann Trophy, and now you have coached a Hermann Trophy winner. What is that perspective like?
I was thinking about this on my way here on my flight, and outside of it being very special for me, I think what makes it extra special is that Duncan grew up watching the Blue Jays. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. He's through and through a Blue Jay. He grew up coming to our summer camps, and so for this to happen to him with a program that means so much to him is just magnificent.
Absolutely, I heard that. That's well said. Great sports town, Omaha. And what is this like for you? I mean, just there it is. I mean, it has happened. What is it like? Did you envision it?
I definitely didn't envision this at the beginning of the season, but as I saw my name on the semifinal list, it started to hit. Maybe I had a chance, but it's definitely something special. It's something that when I came to Creighton, I understood that my coach had won this award, and it's something that's always been in the back of my head about how cool it is to be coached by someone that's won this award. But I mean, to win it, it's definitely something special.
How did he help you and shape you as a player?
Well, thankfully he was also a forward, so he was very helpful in my development as a player over the years. He understood how forwards score, and he definitely taught me every single bit of information that he's learned through his college years and his professional years. So he's definitely given me a lot of tools to become the player that I am today.
I just want to make sure I have this right. You went from 1 goal to 23 goals.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's a quick study.
Yeah. How? And is it a combination of all things? Off-season training, learning how to do it. How do you get to that much of a jump?
I'd say I just got more comfortable with my teammates, and you have a special relationship with them, and you understand their tendencies, when the ball is going to be delivered, when you have a good relationship with someone, you know where they're going to be, they know where you're going to be, so it definitely helps when that happens. And thankfully they let me take PKs this year, which is how I got about half my goals. So, so that was a big help.
And in the postseason, 10 of them in the postseason. Playing at that level, obviously it's pressure, and it's more pressure in the postseason, but how do you get yourself back to being you and the game that you love?
I mean, it's just like the same game I've been playing since I was 6 years old. I just like to have fun with it, and to be with the group that we had this year. We've been together for 3 years, so we understood each other. We all had a great connection, so I guess it just happened in the postseason that we clicked, and everything was firing at the right moment.
Coach, I'll ask you the question. What can young players learn from watching Duncan play?
One of the traits that Duncan has that I think makes him different from other people is that he's very humble. He wants to get better, and he's relentless in his pursuit. He's a hard worker, and he doesn't like taking days off. And so I would aspire, or I would tell younger kids if they want to aspire to be like this guy to my left, is making sure that you clock in and you do work. And that's something that I think has made Duncan special.
6th overall in the MLS Super Draft to Orlando City, right here. What was that moment like for you?
It was definitely a special moment having my family and my friends with me at that event, and it's gonna be weird that I grew up in Omaha and played college soccer there, and then now, like all during college, I live 20 minutes away from campus, but now I'm living 20 hours away in Orlando, so it's definitely a big change, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It will be different, but then basically what you just said, there will be a moment where you'll think, I'm Duncan, I'm playing this game that I love, and getting yourself back to that. But knowing what's in front of you has to be incredibly exciting. Major League Soccer. Did you imagine that when you were younger?
I mean, definitely every young player's dream is to make it pro, and I never stopped thinking that I could get here. And then I know it's gonna be tough, but the people say, like, once you get pro, like, the hard work begins now. Like, it's a whole new lesson. It's like showing up to college on the first day. You just got to start putting in more work, because everyone at this level is amazing. So you got to fight for your spot every day.
You are the MAC Hermann Trophy winner, Duncan McGuire. Let's introduce another Hermann Trophy winner, shall we? Our featured guest is no stranger to the Missouri Athletic Club. 1991, he won the Hermann Trophy, went on to have a prolific career as a player and broadcaster, a member of the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame, recently returned from the World Cup, and we look forward to hearing from him. But first, let's take a look at the exceptional and colorful career of Alexi Lalas.
You go for it, my friend. This
is a moment of opportunity. You know, Rob Stone, that in America we are used to being the biggest and the baddest and the best in everything, even sports. When it comes to soccer, our U.S. women's national team, they are the best. When it comes to our U.S. men's national team, they aren't. So tonight is that opportunity to make us believe that we can be. And you know what? The opponent does matter. It matters that it's England. It has to be England. We get to shed that insecurity that we have, that inferiority complex that we have. We have to stop apologizing for what we are or what we aren't. We plant that American flag against that country they have so much history with on and off the field. We be bold. We be brave. We don't wait for Iran, Rob Stone. There is no honor in that. And if you're going to go down, you go down swinging tonight. You grab a hold of that opportunity and you make us proud. That is the American way. That is the American team that I want to see tonight.
You are looking at Doha, Qatar, site of the greatest World Cup final in history.
Can I trim that up for you, just a little? You mind? Just a little. We'll just take a little off.
No, wait, no.
Just a little. Just a little. I won't take not much. Just even it up. That's all we're going to do.
Be gentle.
All right. Just
Ladies and gentlemen, Alexi Lalas. You got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, grab either one. It's fine. Either chair.
Wow, did you see that? You see that hair? Oh, glorious hair. My goodness. In honor of Greg Berhalter, I just want to make it very, very clear, okay? This is all on the record, okay? You can, some of you get this, some of you won't, but it's okay. Whatever I say, you can tweet, you can repeat it, or you can throw it away. So, how are you? You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. You do a great job. You know, you have such a storied soccer career. You have become an outstanding broadcaster.
Thank you.
Really great.
It's a lot of, look at all you. Wow, it's a lot of makeup and lighting, and that's the key.
I have so many questions for you, but I want to start with the most recent, and that is Pele. We lost an icon. We lost the greatest. Tell me about any interactions, crossing paths with Pele.
I met him a couple of times over my lifetime. Once really, really early on, and I can't even remember what it was for, and I wish I had a picture, but I didn't. Back, I might have been in high school. And then when I was with the Metro Stars, we did an opening when we became the Red Bulls, and we brought in everybody, including Beckenbauer and Pele, and we did an appearance with him. My first introduction to Pele, and maybe some of you can relate to this, is the movie Victory. Victory, for you youngins out there, was this crazy movie about a concentration camp in soccer, and a lot of different things was going on, but Pele was in it, all right? And for a kid growing up in Michigan in the suburbs, this was the first time that I saw this mythic Pele. So it wasn't even on a field or anything like that. The NASL Cosmos Pele passed me by growing up in Detroit, and so there he was on the big screen, albeit in a concentration camp, but doing the things that I had heard and seen a little bit. And so that was my introduction to Pele. But he transcended, because that movie, for me, wasn't about Sylvester Stallone or anything. It was about seeing Pele. And that's what he did. He transcended the game. And there are people that obviously mourn his passing, but there are people that he touched in so many different ways that are soccer fans, that are not soccer fans, and whether you are or not, you recognize when you said that name, you knew exactly who you were talking about. And the global impact that he had on the game and on people is unmatched as far as I'm concerned.
What a year for soccer this has been. It was the greatest World Cup final ever, was it not?
Yes, I've declared it, so.
Yes, you have.
It was pretty good. Usually finals kind of suck, let's be honest. And this was awesome from a television perspective. The narratives and Messi, and I had talked through the tournament about how Messi doesn't and didn't move me in the way that others do. Part of my job is to, in my opinion, and people agree, disagree, it doesn't matter, but in that moment, seeing Messi check that box and seeing the way that it almost got away, and Kylian had something to say there at the end, but then to get that and to just see him almost shed that burden and that albatross of Diego Maradona and that shadow that this man has been living in his entire career. And I don't think it was to be expected when you are a diminutive, left-footed, attacking Argentinian player that is yet to win a World Cup with some incredible players around you. That's what you're going to be compared to. And so to see that, even for me, even in my grouch heart, I was moved, and I loved to see that for him. But the final, as a game, it's instant classic.
You were moved before that match for the U.S. What brought on that incredible speed? I was about to run through the wall here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm in the entertainment industry, and I have always considered myself a performer, whether it's walking on a field, which ultimately is a stage, whether it's putting on a costume, which is ultimately the uniform that you put on, whether it's rehearsing, which is ultimately training. I have considered myself a performer, and so when I'm on television, I want to make sure that people feel something. And you know, the World Cup is unlike anything else. I love it so much. Men's, women's, co-ed, naked, doesn't matter. If there's a World Cup, I am there. And by the way, co-ed naked would be awesome, the rating, so we get. I mean, let's be honest. It's my next venture. But, you know, what was the question?
What brought that on? I mean,
co-ed naked, I was like, yeah.
And you could see them all just watching you deliver that. We dominate every sport. It's time for us, the men's team, to show something.
But it's also about, I mean, we were in this bubble over in Qatar. I've talked to some of you about this, in this brigadoonish type of existence over in Qatar. And you don't know a whole lot of what's going on. And we started to get the texts, and we started to see the pictures and the videos that people were actually watching. And look, I know I'm speaking to a lot of soccer people here. You're gonna watch no matter what. But we all know that we want to bring as many people into the tent as possible. We want to spread the gospel. And that's what a World Cup can do with that power. And so to start to see these images of people coming together, and look, let's be honest, maybe at no point, and certainly in my lifetime, have we been so far apart. And very few things in our country and culture and in our world right now unite us. And to see soccer, of all things, bring people together, whether people were soccer fans or not, and to see kids in schools watching it in classrooms, and to see these images of the bars in the morning and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it warmed the cockles of my red-headed American heart, and I wanted to make sure that people understood that once that message was getting over, how much we appreciated and loved the fact that it was through the eyes of soccer, and that's the power of soccer and what it can do, and certainly the power of a World Cup. And to be able to harness that, even in a 6-week period like that, and use it, that's the best. And look, we'll get another chance next summer with the Women's World Cup, and then obviously 2026 is going to be huge, and we got to be ready, and we need to use it. And I get fired up about this. I get fired up about my team, win or lose, because ultimately it represents what I feel is the greatest country in the world, okay? We certainly have our problems, but... And so that's what gets me fired up about the game.
I get fired up too. 1994, you were part of that World Cup. I was there as a spectator. I was at Giant Stadium. I remember incredibly well how much pride I had in hosting the World Cup. We're going to do it again in 26 in North America. What has changed in terms of being ready to do that again?
Well, a couple of things. First off, thank you so much for having me here. You know, thank you to the Mac and the Hermann family. And it's just, we have a soccer history, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that we don't, okay? Sometimes it's hard to find, and yes, it's a little different, and yes, it's a little eccentric, but as I said in that clip, we certainly don't need to apologize for it. It is something that is passionate, it is something that's vibrant, it is something that we should lean into going forward. And I love being a part of that. And in 2026, the world is going to come to our shores and come back to a very, very different America as it relates to soccer. It was the Wild West back in the 1900s when I was running around. And we used I'm standing on this stage because of the power of the World Cup in 1994. It changed my life forever. We can harness that again. But the world is now coming back to a United States that is so completely different and so much more evolved and advanced when it comes to the soccer that we have. We were talking earlier about just the amount of soccer that you can see. And John was talking about soccer made in Germany and all that, and on PBS an hour on Sunday. And now you can watch it every single day for as long as you want. We have all of these wonderful pathways that all of you are now privileged to be able to enjoy. And this isn't me grumpy manning it. This is awesome. I love it. It makes me so happy and proud that you don't have to go through different things. And there's people in this room that I stood on their shoulders, all right? And they made it easier for me. And it makes me incredibly proud that this generation now that we are celebrating has many, many more opportunities and many, many more pathways to get to wherever they ultimately want to be. That's progress. That's evolution. I think that's what we're going to celebrate come 2026 for a number of different reasons, not the least of which also is, the supporters culture, for example. The way that we cheer for this game, the way that we celebrate this game, it's in a very American way, and that's a good thing. But that type of stuff didn't necessarily exist, and certainly not to the extent that it does today. But I went to the stadium yesterday, by the way, and thank you so much for St. Louis City for the incredible tour that you gave me. And I've been to a lot of these things now. I'm an old guy. I've been around. I've seen a lot of these stadiums. You guys, what you have here and what you have done here is special, even in light of all the others that are out there. And it's unique in terms of where it is, but this is part of the American soccer culture, and it's part of the St. Louis culture, too. Talk about a history. Talk about a culture. This town, this city, this area, not just the players, but the games that it's had and the way that it celebrates. Look, we're sitting here today. The way that it values and celebrates the game makes me so happy and proud to come back here. It's been like 30 years. Although Johnny was telling me that evidently I gave him an award back in '97, so really memorable there.
I want to ask you about that, but based on what you just said, St. Louis City, nobody knows MLS better than you. You were there from the very beginning. You made a lot of your career in MLS. You've been to just countless stadiums. What sets this one apart? There's something about it.
So first off, I drive around the stadium whenever it's a new one, and the architecture is unique. I looked at it, and I've seen a lot of them, and some of them are incredibly beautiful. And this is set apart because it's got this whole modernist type of thing from the outside, and you can kind of see through. Then the canopy, the metallic canopy, that I know now is an homage to the arch and everything, so there's that type of connection. But it's also cool in that it's sunk down. It'll hold in the sound. But the most impressive thing to me was that everything is together. When I say everything, not just the stadium, but also the training center, which, by the way, I don't know if your team's going to win a game, but listen, your players have nothing to ever complain about. Okay, where's Jared? All right, you lose, you go, I'm bad, whatever, okay, because everything is there. I would live in that place. It's incredible. And then the offices, so it's all there. And that does not happen. Not only does that not happen in MLS, that doesn't happen around the world. So, and I know that there are aspirations and visions that go beyond soccer because the 30-plus acres down there that you have to bring people down. And that we are, again, using this wonderful game to try to do some things to revitalize and make people come down to that area. I love it. I love that soccer is going to be used to hopefully make St. Louis better because of what's going on.
It's very well said. 1990. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. (1991) Rutgers University.
Jeez.
The winner of the Hermann Trophy is Alexi Lalas. Take me to that moment. We walk by your jersey all the time up on the 4th floor.
Sorry you have to see that. So I'll tell a real quick story. Back in 1988, when I have a 17-year-old daughter right now, and she's about to figure out some college stuff. My figuring out college stuff was proceeding to open letter after letter of rejection, and I was not getting in anywhere of the places that I applied. I'd love to tell you that I was a really good student. 378, what was it, 378 grade point? I can't even count that high. So I'd love to tell you I was a good student. I was an okay student, and I'd done some things soccer-wise, but I literally didn't have a place to go. And on the bottom of the applications was a Rutgers University application, and the only reason that I had sent away for it, back then you sent away for it, and I don't know if you still do that, but the only reason that I had done that was because I had read an article in Soccer America, and I saw Peter Vermes had played for Rutgers University. And so my father, we were getting desperate. He calls up, Bob Riasso was the coach at the time, and says, hey, I got this kid. And Bob's like, it was back before YouTube and the internet, and like the scouting wasn't what it is today. And he said, well, can I see him? We hop in the car, we drive 16 hours from Detroit to New Jersey. I had never been to Rutgers, let alone been to New Jersey. We show up, we spend 3 hours with him. He says, you're tall, and we're going through a rebuilding. And he said, I can invite you to preseason, and I can get you into the agriculture school. So I grew up in Michigan. I did not grow up on a farm, but I was like, okay, sign me up. That's the best thing I've ever heard. And we drove back to 16 hours. I got ready for school. We drove back. He barely slowed the car down at exit 9 off the turnpike at New Brunswick, kicked my ass out, and I proceeded to play for Rutgers University. That is not the way that you want to pick or go to a school out there, believe me, for all of you, and I'm sure you had much different types of experiences. But the culmination of that and the reality of that was it dumped me out into a school that was an incredible soccer program. So from a soccer perspective, I was playing with incredible players from New Jersey, which we know is a hotbed. I was playing against the UCLAs with Brad Friedel and Kobe Jones and Chris Henderson and these types of players. And it was just really, really good competition, and it gave me a stage. And one more thing, I know I'm rambling on here. I'll get you out of here. Don't worry about it. I mean, the bar's still open, right? Okay.
All night.
All right. Well, just relative to college and what college means, and one of the things that I love about the Mac Hermann Trophy is the celebration of collegiate athletes. And look, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. College soccer has evolved and changed, and it's very, very different than when I was growing up and what it is. But I do believe that it has a place, and I do believe that it can not only produce good soccer players, but more importantly, it can produce good people. And these young men and women, they may go on and be incredible soccer stars, even more so than they are, and do great things. Or they may never play the game again. But ultimately, I do feel that our responsibility is not just to produce better soccer players, it's to produce better men and women, and young men and women for our country, because they're going to lead our country. And I already can see that these are leaders, and while I look forward to seeing them kick the ball for many, many years to come, I also look forward to what they're going to do. And a lot of that success will have come of the time that they spent in college. And so I know it's as we said, and I don't have to tell the coaches out here that it's changing right now, but it is important. And I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to college. Obviously, it changed my life forever, and I do think it can change other lives forever, but not necessarily always relative to kicking the ball. And you might not know it now, but the pathway that you took and the pathway that you chose will benefit you. And I'll leave you with this. It may also benefit you from a soccer perspective, because while we talk so much about the 90 minutes on the field, the other 22 and a half hours are really, really important. And giving you the tools to be able to function in that other 22 and a half hours, I think is vital, and I think is our responsibility. You guys are all well on the way here, but you also might be ahead of others that you may look at and may think that they are ahead of you. So anyway, you made some good choices, and you're good people ultimately, and that's all that matters.
From the 1991 Hermann Trophy winner to the trophy champions and finalists, Alexi Lalas. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it for today. But first, we are going to send it back to Greg Beekman for some final thoughts from the podium.
Very important announcement. The bar downstairs is open. Thank you all for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you.